Thank you for joining me today as we take a quick and dirty look at the crypto market, where we take a quick look at the top gainers and losers for the past 7 days, cover a few indices which will help us trade better and invest better in the coming week as we get a feel for the crypto market as a whole and what direction it's headed. And then we will break down the top 10 cryptos according to CoinMarketCap, giving you potential entry prices and take profit levels. My name is Lane and you are watching Crypto Insight. Kicking it off with the top crypto gainers and losers for the last 7 days, we have Risk, Infrastructure Framework, RIF, 116% gains. Liquidity, Blocks, Caspa, Stacks, Euler, EUL, Singularity.net, and Dodo. Top losers for the last 7 days were Access Protocol, Conflux, Blur, Filecoin, Onyx Coin, Convex Curve, Voyager, and Arweave. Moving now to the main indicator which dictates how well crypto performs is the DXY, the dollar index. Now you can see on the daily, we are in a rising channel, which is bearish and usually breaks down to the downside, usually at least about 70% of the time, if not more. Our stochastics are up to the top, coming to the downside. Momentum wave is peaked out, got a red dot, coming to the downside. VWAP, volume weighted average price, is coming to the downside. Money flow is also coming to the downside. All signs are pointing that we are coming to the downside. If you look at the smaller time frames, the 4 hour, you can see that we already broke to the downside, caught a bounce at the 50 moving average, and now we're doing a bearish retest. Now we should get rejected here. If we do, things will be looking good. We will come back down to these areas, and as we come back down, crypto will do well, Wall Street will do better, and we should be a lot happier. However, on the 4 hour, money flow is coming in. If it breaks back into this pattern, that is very bullish, and we have to be on guard because if it breaks to the upside of this pattern, we're all in trouble. Crypto will suffer. So all eyes on the dollar for every trade that you do. This is one of the key secrets to being successful in crypto trading. Moving now to the total to market cap. We can see that we were in a rising channel, almost a rising megaphone pattern in a way that did break to the downside to retest this 200-day moving average. Since it's done that, we broke back into the pattern and have broken out of the pattern. So now we have to adjust our pattern based on this new information. We're just making a larger rising megaphone pattern. Now this pattern is typically bearish. Price usually does break to the downside. So I am looking for total market cap 2 to work its way back down to the bottom of this pattern, taking about $20 billion out of the market, and then we are flirting with breaking it to the downside of this pattern. Now, since this measure move has already been hit for our first downside, I'm going to go ahead and take that off, although that will be an area right here at the 200 EMA where we will find some resistance for further downward action. Our new measure move would bring us down to this area about 477, and that's about $100 billion that could be leaving crypto overall. So we want to keep an eye on that. If we do see it come down to this area, go for a bearish retest, it is not a bad idea at all to consider exiting some positions, especially if you are in profit. Quickly jump into the ES1, the S&P 500 E-mini futures. The reason that we track this is because crypto is looked at as a tech stock on the Wall Street, so it usually follows what they're doing there as far as Wall Street's concerned. Now you see that we broke to the downside of this trend line right here, and that was making kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern there, which usually in my experience go a little bit crazy and never do what you expect them to do. Currently we came down, we retested the 200 moving average, still moving to the downside. Most likely what is happening here is that we are going to retest this trend line probably around here about 38.93 before we can find a move up, but it all depends on if we hold this level here when we get there. Personally, I would like to see us bounce from here and go ahead and continue up to this area. We have to wait and see. Definitely is a possibility there as this price point lines up with the breakout point. We could be headed up. Let's hope so. Indicators are suggesting that that is a possibility. Finally, we come down to Bitcoin dominance. We track this because your altcoin performance depends on this. Now, as Bitcoin dominance comes down, your altcoins perform very well. As Bitcoin dominance goes up, your altcoins kind of hurt a little bit, trade sideways, lose Bitcoin value. Currently, we are breaking to the downside of a bearish pattern, looking to find support here at this trend line and then take another move up, possibly doing a bearish retest. Crypto will suffer if that happens. However, if we do lose this level and break through the Ichimoku cloud, we could be coming back down to retest this level at the 200 EMA, and your altcoins will rally. When we reach this area, it would be a good time to consider taking profit in some of your altcoins, especially into Bitcoin. Now we move into the top 10 cryptos according to CoinMarketCap, and we start out with Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is flirting with the dangerous area here when we do have a thickening Ichimoku cloud. It's a little bit tricky. So now on this chart, we see that we've broken to the downside of that. We are underneath the Ichimoku cloud, beneath the 50 moving average. We are on the 4 hour chart here. Now, it is possible that we can break it back up into this pattern, which would be very bullish for Bitcoin. However, we currently closed the candle below it, meaning the chances are 70% of the time we're coming down. First retest would be at 22,854 at the 618 Fibonacci area. Next area to look for would be 22,198 for a downward target. Beyond that, we'd be coming down to about 21,653 in that area. Things going in our favor are that the stochastics are on the bottom on the daily. We do have the money flow, though, just holding in very nicely. Momentum wave is starting to curve around. Volume weighted average price is starting to move to the upside. That could be the boost that we need to get us back into this pattern and head up for some more upside. All eyes on Bitcoin and the dollar if you really want key insight to how this is going to play out over this next week. Ethereum is also in pretty much the same situation. However, we did get a green dot on market ciphers, which gave us a bounce up. We are still in this channel, coming up to retest this 618 Fibonacci level, about $16,665. If we break above that, we've got a higher target of 1838. It all depends on us staying inside this trend line. Any break below 1608, 1606 could lead to further downside action as far down as 1486, possibly down as low as 1442, even down to 1358 could be in the cards if we do not maintain this trend line. BNB has broken market structure. I do expect it to do a retest of this area about 309 before continuing down to about 288. If we lose that level, we are looking for some lower areas, possibly down as low to the $260 area. XRP actually has a bullish breakout of a falling wedge pattern. Broke to the upside, came up to 40 cents, currently trading at 37 cents right now. Possibly get a bounce here, trade higher, come back up to about 39 cents, 42 cents, 43 cents, all in the cards. Indicators are looking fairly healthy. Now we are in the green cloud, which could bring us on down, and we could ride this trend down on lower, possibly down to about 36 cents, maybe even lower down to 35 cents. But indicators are showing that we are coming back into the green on money flow. Stochastics are trying to turn around on us. We're trying to get a green dot on the momentum wave, and volume weighted average price is coming up. So good chance we could get a bounce here. Watch that carefully. Now for Cardano, as we suggested last week, when it broke market structure, that was a perfect time to get out. Now the price would come down, hit our measure move target about 34 cents before coming back up to retest this at the 41 cent area, getting rejected off that trend line as it usually happens, even though it made a higher high and looked bullish. When you break market structure like this, any retest of that line most likely comes to the downside, just as we saw here, bringing us down to 35 cents. We can expect lower. The question is, are we going to bounce off this trend line here at 34 cents and then finally make our way back to the upside, 40 cents up to 46 cents? That is typically what happens when we're retesting the trend line like we are here. However, this Ichimoku cloud suggests that we may break back into this pattern. If we do, that is very bearish. First stop would be about 33 cents before we would come back down 29 cents, possibly down as low as 24 cents. So stop losses underneath this trend line may not be a bad idea. MATIC was looking so good, broke to the upside of this very bearish pattern. It looked like it may have a chance to go parabolic, but then we broke back into the pattern. When that happens, a lot of the time, we're going south. It was a great place to take a short when you see that happen, and you can see we came back, tested the bottom of the pattern, and broke through. Currently looking to come back to this area about 116.68, possibly down to 108. Those would be some great areas to look at getting in on MATIC if you don't have any in your bag right at the moment. However, I would also consider the area of 102, and the areas that I'm really looking for is possibly another retest eventually of this 200-day moving average. My eyes are set about 96 cents. Dogecoin also broke market structure over here at 9.2 cents, fell down to our measure move just a little under 8 cents, came back up to 9 cents. Now we've finally broken this parabolic structure that we were looking at. So our parabolic move overall that we were looking for Dogecoin, I'm considering that over. Now we can look for some lower prices, coming back to the daily now. And we broke through the Ichimoku cloud. We did find support here at the 200 daily moving average of 0.078. Chances are that we will come back down lower to these other areas, possibly down to 7.3 cents, 7.5 cents. However, it is a nice bounce that we got there on the 200-day moving average. Maybe we could trade sideways here before coming back up. There could be eventually a retest of this trend line about 9 cents. A little tricky right now for Doge, most likely trading sideways over the next week. Solana just could not get over the 618 Fibonacci area. A lot of people were taking a short there, and if you did, congratulations to you, because you're now in 20% profit. Solana barely retested that area, came back down to the top of this trend line here, which is more like a falling channel, broke barely back into it. I do foresee Solana coming back down to the bottom of this trend line, about $19.48, possibly even lower. If it breaks to the downside of that, we're looking at hitting 1751, maybe even down to 1476 into that area. Moving now to Polkadot, we can see the Polkadot was in a rising channel, broke barely, found support here about the 382 Fibonacci area, about $5.93, came back into the channel, which was very bullish, but then got rejected up here about $7.86. And now we've broken back barely out of the pattern. So in a situation like this, as you get new data, you have to evolve your trend lines a little bit. Now we are still in a rising Rising channel, more of a rising megaphone pattern. Now this pattern does have a measured move to take us down to this area right around $4.67. However, these usually only meet about 45% of the move, which should bring us right down to this previous target that we had about $5.22, $5.24. But that's only if we break below this pattern, which could happen. We do have a thickening Ichimoku cloud. We are dangerously close to it. But with our 200 EMA here and our 50 moving average here, 50 has crossed bullishly above that 200. That is a golden cross. That could be what we need to push us back up to this level 746, even back up to this target 786 and higher. Higher targets for DOT include $8.34, $8.56, $8.82, and a measure move for this overall pattern that we broke out of at $9.14. Bear in mind that if we do lose support here, we would be coming back down. First target at the measure move 544, possibly down to 527. That would be basically retesting the breakout point of this falling wedge pattern. That happens about 64% of the time with this pattern. So if it does happen, don't be alarmed. That would be a place that we would get a bounce and slowly start working our way back up, possibly finding resistance at the area that we are now, about $7.72. Overall, DOT is looking fairly good, fairly healthy on the dailier indicators. Stochastics are bottoming out, getting ready to turn to the upside. Money flow is looking beautiful, just staying steady. Volume-weighted average protocol, VWAP, this kind of stands steady, moving slowly to the upside as our move-in wave starts coming down, and eventually we will get a green dot there. But it was the bearish divergence that we had on our waves there that broke us down to the downside. And currently, as the RSI is coming down just the slightest little bit from there, and price action is headed up, candle close to candle close, that is giving us just a little bit of hidden bearish divergence, which indicates that we hit the bottom of the pattern and should be on our way up to the top side of that pattern. So I'm taking that as a good sign for DOT, that we could get a bounce here, about $6.44. Finishing up today with Litecoin. Litecoin has been very bullish, still maintaining this overall parabolic run that it has been on for quite a while. Only thing we have to worry about is if we do break this parabolic pattern, somewhere around 91 cents, falling below that, safely to say if we fall below 89 cents, we will be out of this pattern. But the chances are that we will get a bounce here at the 50 EMA, which we've done. That's right around $92, and continue upward, next target being $106. Targets after that include $114, $118, $123, $128, on up to our main target of $133. Now, I must warn you, the Ichimoku cloud is getting very thick. There is a chance that it will attract us like a magnet and spit us out on the other side. That would bring us down to these lower areas at $83.91, $78.67. Target I would be looking for is the 786 Fibonacci area, which also coincides with the 200 daily moving average, and that would be around $71. If I were looking to add this to my bag, that is probably the first target that I would look for. When we break down from these parabolic structures, it's usually down and sideways for quite a while. Guys, if you enjoyed this show and get value out of it, please hit that like button. Maybe leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Check out our free Telegram group. My name is Lane, and you've been watching Crypto Insight.
Hello, friends. Bobby Joe Rumblemaker right here telling you about the opportunity of a lifetime. Are you trying to find financial freedom by trading and investing in them there cryptocurrencies? But are you having a hard time being profitable and making them winning trades? Well, you can get all that knowledge and a whole lot more just by watching the Crypto Chart School playlist over here at the Road Dog Crypto channel. You just go right down here where it says Chart School, you click that full playlist, and voila! They got all the knowledge right there. And they're adding to it every week. So if you want to be profitable, right there you can go. And it's all for a like and a subscribe till you get all the answers you need over at the Road Dog. Happy trading, y'all.